Hey, his condition is far worse than 2 months ago. This is not acceptable. I expected you to lose 50 pounds, and you lost 16. And so what is driving? Wait, Pauline, you gained weight.
What happens when an idiotic patient goes up against Dr. Now? This man pushes them well beyond their breaking point, but sometimes things heat up further. When Dr. Now unleashes his brutal honesty, no one is safe from his cutting critiques and hard-hitting truths. In my 600 pounds life, he's not here for excuses or sugarcoating. He's here to save lives. Are these patients ready to face the wrath of Dr. Now's no-nonsense approach, or will they crumble under the weight of their own denial? The prime example for such an explosive encounter is Pauline Potter, a person who's beyond miserable.
Most days, I don't even want to get up. I feel like I'm trapped in this body.
Oh, she needs help, all right. Visually alone, that looks like a horrible condition to be in. Her body seems to be shutting down and her bones are likely crumbling under the immense pressure. The worst part is, she knows that her weight is way out of control, yet she refuses to make any substantial changes. Her habits have robbed her son, Dylan, from a normal life. 21 is the peak of a person's youth. It's when they're supposed to go out into the world and establish themselves. Sadly, Dylan gets to do none of that as he's stuck taking care of Pauline.
Everything for you like this. Some days I want to die so they don't have to take care of me anymore. All right.
We do mostly everything for her. She needs somebody all the time.
I feel bad because she can't do it herself, but that's why I'm there.
Have mercy.
Think about it. He has no friends, no interests, and no future prospects. Pauline is setting him up for failure once he grows up. All of this could be solved if Pauline took responsibility for her life and started losing weight. Apparently, that's a task too hard for her to even attempt until now. Given the severity of the situation, Pauline ends up seeking help from Dr. Now. Let's just say that the doc isn't holding back.
I've seen you're going to have to get control of your eating. So, no more cake.
My 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, my babies, and that's what's making me get motivated. They wrote a letter to you. She's only 5 years old.
She's only 5 years old?
Yes.
Wow. I want her to be skinny. And who is that?
Right off the bat, Dr. Now goes ballistic, giving her a proper ultimatum. Either lose 50 pounds in a month or get ready for more drastic measures. Right after that, he comes in with the harsh question. The point is, whether or not Pauline makes it to 60 is completely up to her. He's making it clear that it's nobody's responsibility but her own. So far, Pauline seems willing to go the extra mile, but will she succeed, or will Dr. Now bring out the drastic measures? Let's find out.
Seems that family is supportive of her. You're doing very good. Stick with the program.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and get her in surgery, and then we'll start working on next steps.
There's so much I'm going to be able to do, and I just can't wait.
This meeting, she came back fatter than before, and that's quite baffling. The excuses she tried to make were just the cherry on top. Stomach hurts, this hurts, that hurts. Yeah, no wonder, considering her body is shutting down. The one about water retention is just comical. Not even camels store that much water weight, and Dr. Now is unimpressed. He gives her another brutal reply. She has no idea how dangerous her situation is. It's so concerning that Dr. Now had to admit her to the hospital and put her on a controlled diet. After enough weight was lost, they performed a surgery on her, but Pauline started being a bit too difficult.
Right now, she's very close to dying.
The emotions I'm feeling right now is just running wild because I don't like to see her like that.
Lara is my life. She's been there with me through thick and thin. It's very sad to see her in this state. And I can't help her.
Patient this size cannot handle any sort of...
After the surgery, movement is essential to make sure there are no complications in the process. As usual, the excuses start coming up like there's no tomorrow. Only this time, Dr. Now was done with this nonsense. He doesn't hear any of her excuses and drops some simple truths. It's been 5 days and most people are fine after the surgery in just 2 days. Instead of seeing that she's the problem here, Pauline starts crying, but the doc is in brutal mode and couldn't care less. Another surgery later, Dr. Now decided to evaluate Pauline's performance, and the results were so abysmal that you wouldn't believe it.
It's just the beginning for us. I know there's going to be a lot more time one-on-one with us out in the open. You know, when we can take her out of the house and do something, it's going to be a lot more interesting and fun for us.
I haven't been this happy in a long time. I don't think without the people around me, I would be able to keep pushing myself. It helps a lot.
A person who is capable of walking and should be walking for the sake of her own health refuses to do so. Cruising around in that chair of hers, she's making matters worse, and the doc lays it straight as it is. Despite having 2 surgeries and being 11 months into the program, she could only lose measly amounts of weight. Dr. Now was done with this nonsense and terminated the program. There's no point in working with someone like Pauline. People say Dr. Now treated her harshly, but this harshness sometimes helps the patients to fix their lives. And that's exactly what he does with the next patient, Nikki.
That I feel is overwhelming. Every bone in my being is telling me to lay back down. It's miserable. I feel like I'm trapped because it's just difficult to move my body. I'm in so much pain. I can't stand for very long at all.
Meet Nick. She's just 33 years old, and her life is a horrible mess. She is right about being trapped, but it's a prison of her own creation. At such a young age, she has thrown away all future prospects and a chance at a proper future just because she couldn't stop eating. The silver lining is that she wishes to change, or at least, that is what she claims.
And in many instances, my limitations far exceed his. And that's a big statement. A condition that he was born with is exceeded by a condition that I've put upon myself. I feel like my parents probably worry more about me than Chris. And it makes me feel guilty.
Nikki's situation is a tricky one. Her brother has cerebral palsy, but it's her weight that's weighing down the whole family. The result is that she feels guilty about it. Naturally, she wants Dr. Now's help, but hasn't exactly been the poster child for change. Sure, guilt can push her in the right direction, but we all know Dr. Now won't settle for excuses. Can Nikki turn that guilt into action, or will her old habits drag her back to the snack drawer?
A day. Some of that is enabled by her family. They're helping kill her if they don't stop this.
Sometimes, as a parent, it's hard to know if you're helping or enabling, you know. Sometimes there's a fine line.
It's not that complicated. If it's hurting her, it's enabling her. And Nikki is at a very dangerous point. Normal person.
Nikki's family seems to think there's a fine line between enabling and helping, but Dr. Now is not buying it for a second. With Nikki eating 5 to 6 times a day, her father tries to smooth talk his way around the issue. But Dr. Now brutally shuts him down faster than Nikki finishes a snack. It's simple. The family is only making things worse, and they're putting her life at risk. Will they finally stop coddling her, or is it too late to break the cycle of denial? Yes, we'll see if she can survive Dr. Now's diet plans.
1,200 calorie a day diet, then you should be able to lose 50 pounds or next month.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like a lot of weight.
It is not. It is not.
Okay.
We're gonna eat 3 times a day. No carb in your diet, no.
Nikki's not thrilled with the idea of cutting out carbs and sugar, but that's the price to pay for better health. The pre-surgery diet is tough, and Nikki complains that the weight loss goal seems a bit too high. Dr. Now gives her a brutal reality check. It's not just doable, it's necessary if she wants to stay in the program. He makes it crystal clear there's no room for excuses. Nikki better stop eating like there's no tomorrow, or there actually might not be a tomorrow for her. But miracles do happen, and Nikki's condition did get better. Much better than you think.
It looked good, but chest X-ray indicate that you may have what we call a pulmonary hypertension.
What does that mean?
That means your weight has affected your heart, and your heart is not able to transport enough oxygen for your body. So we get a little.
Nikki's made some solid progress, but her weight is still too high for surgery. Her heart and lungs are under intense pressure, and the risk of something going wrong mid-surgery is sky high. Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat it. He delivers the cold, hard truth without skipping a beat. She's going to have to lose more weight, but there's hope. Her progress so far has been good. In fact, his brutal reality checks seem to be motivating her, pushing her to keep going. Dr. Now's tough love is exactly what she needs. It worked and Nikki was approved for surgery. Unfortunately, there were some complications.
But if she pushes herself to eat more, the surgery can become ineffective much faster than bypass. She needs to stay motivated to keep making progress.
Nikki's surgery didn't go off perfectly. There were complications, but in the end, it was a success. She's made incredible strides, but Dr. Now warns her that the battle isn't over. If she starts overeating again, all her progress and the surgery itself will be rendered useless. Staying motivated is key, but let's be honest, not everyone's a Nikki. Some patients need Dr. Now's brutality to get in line. Sadly, not all patients are as cooperative. The perfect example being Angela, the queen of manipulation and fast food.
It's the very first thing I think of every single morning is, why, God? There's got to be a reason for him doing this, keeping me going. Because every single day of my life is an absolute nightmare. I just feel like I am trapped in this body. And mornings is when I hurt the most out of the entire day. That's when it feels like somebody's holding a torch. Like different areas, my skin was ripping open.
Angela's weight has taken a massive toll on her life, and it's gotten to the point where she can't even walk around anymore. She's essentially trapped in her own home, unable to leave, and completely dependent on her daughter for even the most basic tasks. It's a harsh reality, and Angela knows it. There's no one else to blame but herself. But now, faced with the consequences of her choices, she must decide if she's ready to make a change or continue down the same destructive path.
In the van, with blankets tucked up under your folds and your mess, you are sweaty. I don't care if it's AC. You want to be clean and you don't feel clean. A person my size, I don't care how much you clean, you're dirty. This is not a handicapped room.
After countless clashes with her daughter, Angela finally turned to Dr. Now for help. And the good doctor wasted no time in delivering his signature brutal reality checks. Angela's consuming over 7,000 calories a day, which, considering her size, is essentially like putting herself at death's door for entertainment. Dr. Now laid out the numbers and Angela is literally speechless. It was the cold, hard truth she needed, but definitely wasn't ready to hear. She better get used to it because Dr. Now isn't holding back.
Relax, honey, you're fine.
I'm sorry, I am not snapping at you, I promise.
Not being snippy.
Don't be setting it all romantic. I want to show Dr. Now my mass. Because of this mass is why I can't move. And I'm actually scared. For some reason, he wouldn't be able to help me. And he's gonna say either lose weight or die.
Dr. Now absolutely lost it. Angela really tried spinning an absurd tale that her husband, Justin, who clearly enables her, somehow eats more than she does. As Dr. Now said, it's physically impossible, given that Justin isn't overweight, while Angela is dangerously obese. Dr. Now didn't hold back, calling her out as a delusional manipulator who thinks the world revolves around her excuses. Despite all that, Dr. Now handed her a strict diet plan and gave her one final chance to change her ways.
And here's what we can do. I'm going to start you on a 1,200 calorie a day diet, and you're going to change your eating habit.
Yes.
You only eat it 3 times a day. You only eat high protein, no carbs, and you stick to it completely. You got it?
Yes, sir.
And I also want you to start exercising at least 1 hour a day. 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. And no using your lymphedema as an excuse, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a very easy weight loss goal to eat.
Angela decided to completely ghost Dr. Now after splitting up with her husband over a fight about moving to Texas for the surgery program. She wasn't interested in making the effort, and Dr. Now wasn't about to listen to more of her excuses. He made it crystal clear that if she's going to play the wishy-washy game and lie about her commitment, then there's no point in her moving to Texas or getting the surgery. She gets another chance, and you wouldn't believe her audacity.
I will talk to him and ask him, why can I not lose weight here? I don't feel like I'm sabotaging myself at all, because if it was that, I would just quit. You know, I would do the real sabotage, and I don't half-ass anything.
Can you believe that? Angela really tried to argue that Dr. Now had messed up her weight loss goal, claiming she was only supposed to lose 50 pounds instead of 100. Unfortunately for her, Dr. Now isn't lazy and has all the details written down. He pointed out that Angie either forgot the goal or was too high to notice. Her progress is far from acceptable. Her audacity isn't the only problem here. It's her entitled behavior, and naturally, Dr. Now shuts her down immediately.
Feel good because they love me. Number 2, I do think there's no need for me to live in Houston just to lose weight. It'd be different if I was there getting surgery and having to see the doctor, but I see no use in having to lift my life up and move there just to be on a diet. So I possibly will talk to him and ask him, why can I not come down there once a month to weigh in with him? In best case scenario, he says, you know what, there's a first time for everything.
She continues to disrespectfully demand that Dr. Now approve her surgery immediately. Really, Angie, are you in any position to be making demands? The level of entitlement needed to declare she wouldn't move to Houston unless he complied. The irony? She claimed she didn't have time to waste, when in reality, she didn't have much time left considering her health. Dr. Now came back with brutal sarcasm and snapped back. They couldn't afford to waste her time while she kept lying and making excuses. If Angie wasn't willing to cooperate, she could stay put, and that would be the end of it.
Everything I do is hard and it's a struggle. I need a rag for my face. Things are so hard for me. I've lost motivation to do anything for myself.
And my body's starting to break down.
My weight is taking a toll on my heart, my kidneys, my liver, my legs, everything. I'm in pain and I feel helpless, worthless.
The blood glucose is 423.
Dang, 423.
Seen as practically given up on life, since there's nothing he can do at that size. And that's the worst thing the 26-year-old can do. He knows just how useless and miserable he is, but can't seem to do anything about it. Imagine not even being able to walk or move around freely. That's a pathetic way to live, and Seen would agree. Every liberty, every freedom he had was taken away from him. The worst part is that he has nobody else to blame for it other than himself. Fortunately, he wishes to change, or so he says, at least.
We need someone to intervene and help us to have a change, you know, because if not,
I don't see it much longer, us being together.
Thank you.
I don't want to give up, but you could say it's close to the breaking point of either her passing away or me leaving.
I know with every bite of food I take right now.
No friends, no family, no future prospects. Scene has the right idea here. He's self-aware and knows that his habits are slowly killing him. Something has to change before it's too late, and by the looks of it, Scene doesn't have much time left. As a last resort, he reaches out to Dr. Now, hoping to get some help. The only question is, will Scene be able to accept the help he gets? Things aren't looking good as Scene starts off on the wrong foot with Dr. Now.
When I get stressed, I just have to find something I want to eat as quickly as possible. But I know these have to be my last unhealthy meals. Once I get to Dr. Now.
Right off the bat, the doc is concerned about having another grown child as a patient. Scene's mother lets him get away with whatever he wants, so he's used to throwing tantrums. Sadly, Dr. Now isn't running a daycare. He continues his examination, despite the continuous whining by Scene. What's more impressive is that Dr. Now immediately figured out that Scene has an unhealthy family dynamic.
Right now.
Oh, my feet.
She's lucky because if her car ride was 2 to 3 hours longer, she would not have survived. Her heart is literally being smothered under the weight of her body. What seems to be your biggest challenge with your eating habit?
I'm an emotional eater. I get bad anxiety. And then I'll eat food until I get sick.
Who brings you the food?
My husband,
A couple months into the program, our Jigglypuff here crossed 1,000 pounds in weight, and his mother is still trying to make nonsensical excuses. More protein. You have the whole diet plan laid out for you. Stop overfeeding your son. You're not fooling anyone. Things have gotten so bad, even after that brutality, that Dr. Now has to admit him to the hospital. Thankfully, there was rapid weight loss during that time. To nobody's surprise, Scene went back to his nonsense after being discharged. What's worse is he tried to pull a stunt, trying to get out of the program. Let's just say Dover Now was not happy about that.
It was scary leaving the hospital. Thought I hurt myself, but it was anything like that. I had gained so much weight, my menstrual cycle stopped years ago. But with all my weight loss, I started menstruating again. And I'm just glad nothing was seriously wrong. Now, Gilbert and I have been in the hotel here for the past month. It's been hard, but today is my 40th birthday.
You're beautiful, though.
He's in for a brutal reality check if he doesn't get his act straight. If he's lying to get out of the program, then it's simply incredibly ungrateful and stupid on his end. But let's just assume that he isn't lying. Even then, this is the direct consequence of his actions. He's gambling away his life, one pizza at a time. Turns out, Scene was making it up. The results came back completely fine, except the morbid obesity.
So I'm just gonna enjoy it today. I have my next appointment with the doctor in a month. And I feel like I can hit my goal by then. So I'm gonna keep trying. I have to get this surgery because eventually I know I'm gonna start giving into my cravings every day.
All right, guys.
Hi, Lupe.
Yikes. Not only did he make the whole chest pain situation up, he gained more weight since his last visit. Really, that's just abysmal. Things have gotten so bad that Dr. Now believes Scene needs mental help before psychological help. Make no mistake, though, this is the last chance Scene has to lose 150 pounds in 2 months. No more games, no more manipulation. Hit the goal or hit the road. Was this too brutal, even for Dr. Now? The good news is that it worked for Scene and he turned his life around thanks to the doc. The bad news is there's far too many delusional people who think dieting and changing are impossible. You can help us prove them wrong by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.